Hello, Thrivers. Heather here. And I always like hit my desk when I start. So sorry. Sorry for it. Looks like an earthquake going on here. I hope that you are well. And here we are with our Supercharge Your Marriage Gratitude Challenge. We are on day 12. How are you doing with the challenge? I'm going to talk a little bit about reframing, and then I'm going to give you guys a bonus gift. If you stick with me to the end of today's video and today's challenge, I'll be giving you a bonus gift, something I have literally never, ever given away before. A super powerful tool that you can use gratitude in your daily lives and to really improve your marriages. So stay tuned for that. So I had an amazing experience this weekend with the power of reframing experiences. It was several challenging things came up. A member of our congregation at church, they lost their little boy, little 18-year-old. Oh, it's hard to even talk about that. And it's amazing that when we have those challenges and that kind of perspective, how different we start to see the everyday challenges that we face, right? And this morning I was rushing getting my kids ready for school. I'm sure many of you can relate. And feeling a little frustrated because we were behind schedule, trying to get back with the routine after the holiday. And I just had to stop and think about that for a minute. And as I was feeling frustrated that we were going to be late for school and my kids couldn't find their coats and they lost their boots and they were out in the mud. And I just had to stop and think about how grateful I was that I have my children and that they're with me. And so that power of perspective of, this family, they lost their child this week. So why am I even complaining about being late or having my children not being as organized or me not being as organized as I would like? I have my children with me. So having that deep sense of appreciation for what we have, the blessings that we have. Sometimes we're cursing and we're frustrated and we're annoyed with or we're hurt with the very things that we want the most. And we don't recognize it until it's gone. So we need to change that because we actually want those things the most. I want my children here the most. I want them to have a good education. I want our mornings, to be fun and connecting and everything. It's not always like that, but to celebrate that I have them and the fact that they're with me is so powerful. And I'm going to apply this even to a smaller issue. And hey, Emily, hey, Joe, hey, Nicole, hey, Dana, and everyone else watching. If you can see and hear me okay, let me know. And let me know how you're doing with your gratitude challenge, what you're grateful for today, and how this is helping you in your life. I have a cool story to share with you guys in a minute. So I often find that there are certain things in my life that are less than ideal, right? There are certain things I just don't like doing. There's certain tasks around the house that I just cringe at. And the big one for me is laundry, okay? Because we have 7 children. We have an infant, we have a dog, and then Ben and I. So it's like mountains of laundry. And I feel like it's just overwhelming, right? And I get so frustrated that I have to spend all this time washing all of our clothes. And then the baby spits up and the dog gets sick, and then my sons let their laundry pile up, and it just feels like, oh my goodness, am I ever going to get out from under all of this laundry? And it's constant. And I don't enjoy doing it at all. And then on Sunday, I was listening to a talk that was being given during our church service. And it's one of our good friends who is actually from Tonga. And he was saying how growing up for him, it was pretty rough. It's a third world country. And he was saying we didn't always know if we'd have food to eat the next day. We lived in a coconut hut, and when it rained, it would leak on us. And I remember my father holding me when it was so, so cold. You don't think Tonga's that cold, but it can actually get pretty cold out there in the Pacific Islands. I spent a semester in Hawaii, and so I know that some days can be very, very cold, actually. And he remembers his father hugging him and trying to keep him warm and comforting him as he was just so cold, this little tiny body, in an inadequate shelter. And he was talking about how they didn't know if they would have 25 cents for laundry detergent. And more often than not, they would take their clothes down to the ocean. They would wash their clothes in the ocean or in the river, and they would have to do that by hand. And so as I was doing laundry yet again last night and again this morning, I was able to reframe that reframe the same experience. I'm still doing laundry. My kids still make messes on their clothes. The baby still spits up. You know, she had a huge diaper blowout just like a few minutes before I did this live stream. And to have a gratitude and appreciation that I don't have to go to the ocean and wash my clothes out by hand. And that I don't have to do it without the aid of laundry detergent and a washing machine. These are conveniences that I take for granted in my life. And so to hear the perspective from someone who did not have that growing up was very humbling, and it helps me to reframe that so that instead of begrudging what I have to do, because laundry has to be done, I can do it with a spirit of gratitude. I can do it with a spirit of thanksgiving constantly in my daily life and change some of those annoyances into blessings and opportunities. So awesome. Hey, Paul. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Emily. All right. So today we are on day 12 of The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. And this one is called Magical People Who Made a Difference. And just for those who are just joining me, I do have a bonus for you at the end, a gift. And I'm only going to give it to those who are watching this video and who comment on it. And I'll tell you a little bit about that at the end. So stay with me. All right. So here we are on day 12. Here's a quote from Albert Schweitzer, Nobel Peace Prize winner, medical missionary, and philosopher. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each one of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. Every one of us has received help, support, or guidance from other people at particular times in our lives when we needed it most. Sometimes another person alters the course of our life through their encouragement, guidance, or just being there at the right time. And then life goes on, and we tend to forget those times when one person touched us or changed our life. Sometimes you don't even realize the impact a person had until well into the future. When you look back on your life and realize that a particular person was pivotal in magically changing the direction of your life for the better. The person may have been a teacher, a coach, an uncle, aunt, sibling, grandparent, or family member. They may have been a doctor, nurse, or best friend. They may have been the person who introduced you to your current partner or to a particular interest that became one of your greatest passions. Maybe they were someone you didn't even know, and they appeared in your life very briefly, performing a random act of kindness that touched you to the core. My grandmother gave me my love for books, cooking, and the countryside. By sharing her love of those things with me, all of them affected and changed the course of my life. Cooking became a passion of mine for over 20 years. My love of books eventually led me to becoming a writer, and my love of the countryside has influenced where I've lived throughout my life. My grandmother also disciplined me with a steel hand to say thank you. At the time, I thought she was just teaching me to be polite. It was only later in my life I realized that teaching me to say the magic words was the greatest gift my grandmother ever gave me. She is not alive anymore, but I continue to be grateful for her for the huge influence she had in the course of my life. Thank you, Grandma. Today, you are going to think about the magical people who have impacted your life. Find a quiet place alone sometime during the day today. Sit down and think of 3 extraordinary people who have made a difference in your life. Once you have your 3 people, work with one person at a time and talk out loud to each person as though they were present, telling him or her the reasons why you're grateful to them and how they affected the course of your life. Make sure you do this magical practice with all 3 people in the one session, because it will take your feeling of gratitude to a far deeper level. If you split up this magical practice throughout the day, you will not feel the same depth of gratitude nor receive the magical results. All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. She goes into like how you can do this and what you can, how it will sound like, thank you so much for helping me. I found courage to follow my dream. I couldn't be happier, all because of what you said to me, right? All right, so when you've completed this practice, you will feel a huge difference in the way that you feel. The evidence of gratitude's power working is always the first and foremost, it makes you happy. Happy! Why don't we want to be happy? We can choose to be happy right now just by experiencing gratitude. We all want happiness, but we keep our happiness at bay sometimes. And sometimes we'd rather stay stuck in our pain and stuck in our problems rather than choosing to use gratitude's power, like she says, to be happy. So let's do that. The secondary evidence of gratitude's power is that you attract wonderful things. And as if all of that wasn't enough, the happiness you feel after practicing gratitude also attracts more wonderful things, which will make you even happier. That's the magic of life, and that's the magical power of gratitude. All right, so 4 steps here for day number 12, magical people who made a difference. 1, count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. And I so appreciate everyone who has been sharing their blessings and their 10 things that they're so grateful for. And if you have yours, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'd love to hear that. And the more that we read what other people are grateful for, the more that also deepens our sense of gratitude. Write why you're grateful. Reread your list at the end of each blessing. Say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. 2, find a quiet place alone sometime during today and make a list of 3 people who made a difference in your life. 3, work through the list one person at a time, and while talking out loud, tell each person the reason why you're grateful for them and exactly how they affected the course of your life. Just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you for the best thing that happened during the day. Awesome. So that's our challenge. Who's in? Say I'm in. Put it in the comments if you're in and let me know how this goes for you today. I just wanted to share with you really quickly. I got a message from a member of the group, and I just wanted to share this with you because this is the power of what we're doing, right? Sometimes we discount this. Sometimes we let ourselves get too busy. But if you do the work, I just want to use this as an example to illustrate of what's happening out there in this group from this challenge, people that are doing it just like you, and it's having a profound impact on them and in their lives. All right, so the message is, hey, Heather, just want to share with you what an impact your gratitude challenge has had on me. I've been in a deep pit of hurt for months now after my wife had an affair. He says, I've been so upset and angry and not sure how we can ever fix this. I went ahead and write out the 10 things I was grateful for about my wife. After watching your video, when I got to number 6, something broke inside of me. I think it was a dam of hurt and pain I've built up in me, and now it was just all let loose. I realized how much I really love my wife, how good she is, and then my mind was flooded with how I've contributed to everything. I couldn't see it before, but it was there just like you and Mark teach. Now I can see how I drove her away and why she would then turn to another man for comfort and affection. My heart is open now and I feel like good things are to come. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you, not just for me, but for all those you help every day. So I just love that. I was so grateful to him for sharing this and grateful to him for doing the work, right? It's amazing. Like when you put yourself into that state of gratitude, especially if you've been in, like he said, like he called it a dam of hurt and pain, like you like totally damned yourself, right? And that when you go opposite of that and you go into gratitude, you go into things that you're grateful for. He did this about things that he was grateful for about his wife, that something just broke inside of him. All that dam of pain and everything was just let loose. And that allowed him to then recognize how good she is, how much he loves her. And this is the part that I really love. He recognized how he contributed to things. Like Mark and I say, there's always a root reason why things happen in your marriage. And, you know, if your spouse had an affair, sometimes we just look at that and that's all we can see, right? How could they do that to me? This is so painful. This is so hurtful. How do we ever overcome this? And now he's able to recognize how he actually did contribute to it and to take ownership of that. And that's very freeing because now he knows what he can fix, right? Now he says, like, my heart is open and I feel like good things are to come. So that's the power of putting ourselves into a state of gratitude. It helps us to see things clearer. It helps us to appreciate those around us more and the solutions come. So yeah, awesome, Nicole. You say you're in. Very good. Okay, cool. So now at the beginning, I talked about the reframe exercise, and I've been doing this with some of just the little minor challenges in my life. I've also done this on a much larger scale with the very big challenges in life. And this is an exercise that I coach our premium clients through. And like I said, I've never, ever given this out before. But I would love to gift this to you today. It's an exercise worksheet that, excuse me, I'm so congested, okay, that you can take, and I would encourage you to take some time and some quiet and some solitude and really go through these questions with intention and devote some time and some space to doing this. Really allow yourself to go deep, and don't just skim through them or don't look at it and be like, no, you actually have to do this. To know the fruit, you have to do this. So put the exercise to the test. So if you would love this, it's called reframe exercise. So if you could put reframe in the comments, just reframe, like you're reframing something. So it's like we see everything through a picture, right? And if you don't like the story, if you don't like the picture that you're seeing, then let's reframe it. Like, let's put it in a new lens, let's put it in a new perspective and start to change the story that we're seeing. Just like with me at the laundry, I know that's a simple thing. And you're like, Heather, that's too simple. Like, we also do laundry, get over it. But if I can do it with laundry and I can change the way I feel about doing laundry because now I have a new perspective of someone who never even had a washing machine, right? Or didn't have access to one, had to scrub his laundry out by hand as a child. Now I can use that to bring greater appreciation into an everyday occurrence in my life. What difference is that going to make for me 10, 20, 30 years from now? Instead of having angst or just a feeling of yuck about doing laundry, I can come at it from a place of deep gratitude. That will change my life. Just that right there. It's a degree change, and it's a small change. But if we can change our lives, even in those tiny little instances, think about how much reframing the bigger problems are going to make for us in our lives ultimately. And it permeates to everyone else around us, right? If I'm cheerful and happy doing my laundry, then my children are going to get that. They're going to benefit from that. My husband will benefit from that. I will benefit from that. My health will be better. Everything improves when we choose to do that. So you want this? I would be happy to give it to you. Just put the comment reframe in there and I will message it over to you. So I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm so grateful that many of you are taking this challenge to heart. You're doing the work and you're noticing the difference that it's making. This is powerful. Ripples are going out in your life, in the lives around you, and everyone that is involved. We're touching so many people's lives. So it's very, very powerful. I'm grateful and honored to be with you. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.